I'm about to make a strawberry cheesecake. These are the ingredients that I'm using. Starting with a 9-inch spring pan. Let's see. And then here's my chopper, which I'll be using 2 sleeves of graham crackers, 1/4 cup of sugar, a 1/2 cup of pecans, and don't forget the butter. Your butter is what keeps your graham cracker together. So I'm using 5 tablespoons of melted butter. If you don't have a food processor, you can always chop it up in a bag, your graham crackers. But they need to be really, really fine. Okay, I crumbed up my graham crackers in this food processor, which had your graham crackers looking very crumbled. It don't take much. You also can use a dough roller, put them in a bag and crunch them up real fine, and then add your butter and other things you may need to add with it. But right now I'm adding a 1/2 cup of pecans, and I'm gonna crush that up, and then I'll be adding the butter. Okay, everything is all crumbled up. The graham cracker, the sugar. So this is what you want your graham cracker crust to look like. Which I wind up having to add a little bit more butter. So originally I said 5 teaspoons of butter. So you can go with at least 6. If you use 2 sleeves of graham crackers, you can go with at least, I'll say the most 7 to 8 teaspoons of butter. Melted butter, please. Okay, I'm gonna dump this in this spring pan, and then I'm gonna go ahead and form my crust. I'm gonna put my oven on 350 so it can be getting hot. All right, oven's at 350. I'll be back. Okay, so now I put my graham cracker crust in my. You can see the graham cracker crust and the spring pan. Let me turn the camera around. Okay, so how I formed this, I took a glass, I put all the graham crackers in it, and I took the glass and pressed it around the edges to get it to come kind of high. And then the bottom part of the crust, I wound up having to make some more crust because my pan is supposed to be 9 inches, but it's pretty big. So I wound up having to use a little bitty small tiny one. So you can see that one's just crumbled up. You'll be able to, this, it would look just like this one here. Okay. Next, I gotta get ready to start on the filling, but I'm gonna take this and put this in the oven and let it brown for about 10-15 minutes only 10 to 15 minutes, and then take it out. All right, I took my crust out. It was a little under 10 minutes, about 8 minutes. And this is how the crust look. So like I said, I wound up doing 2 because I had so a lot of the graham crackers. And then I did a small one without the graham cracker crust at the bottom, but just around the edges. Okay, now I'll be making a cheesecake. I will be using 4.5 packets of cream cheese, 1 3/4 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of flour. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You all know I like to use this type of salt. It's better and it's healthy, sea salt. Don't bother the beer, that would not be going in there. I will be using 3 teaspoons of flavor and approximately 7 eggs. It'll be 5 eggs and 2 yolks. I'm gonna start mixing. Oh, one more thing. I'll be using sour cream, 3/4 cup of sour cream, and flour. Okay, I failed to mention, make sure all your ingredients are at room temperature. Your cream cheese should look very soft like this. But make sure your eggs, your sour cream, all your wet ingredients are room temperature. And we off. See how this mixing up? That's because the cream cheese is soft. You want it soft. You gotta blend that for maybe just about 2 minutes. You let it get blended up. Always remember, take breaks and scrape your bowl anytime you add other ingredients. So next, I'm gonna be adding, you see that? Next, I'm gonna be adding the sugar. Always scrape your bowl after each ingredient. So I'm gonna scrape this bowl down to make sure I get all this cream cheese mixed together. Now I have 1 cup and 3/4 cup of sugar. You can use less sugar if you choose to. Take the cup down to maybe a half. But cream cheese is kind of tangy, so you want to add some sugar, but if you want to use less sugar, it depends on you with that. As you can see, it's already starting to smooth out. Now I'm going to do my cup of sugar. I added a 3/4 already. So now I'm done with the cup. And just let that spin. Remember, after each ingredient, scrape your bowl. I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/2 teaspoon of salt before I scrape my bowl down. I need another standard mixer, a bigger one. Okay, we're gonna scrape that down. You see that? Nice and smooth already. It's already nice and smooth already. Look at that. Just gotta make sure you get in there and get all that maybe didn't get mixed together. That's the purpose of scraping your bowl down. Here, hold this for me. So you can't be still. Okay, I'm going to add the next ingredients. Next, I'll be adding the sour cream. Can you please hold that? Pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, next is the sour cream. Remember, 3/4 cups of sour cream. That's all you need. Okay, I need the camera to look at the bowl. Keep the camera on the bowl. Stand it straight up. Keep it just like that. Alright, everybody, I got my daughter holding the camera. Keep it like that. Okay, just like that. Okay. So now the sour cream is mixed in. We did the sugar, we did the salt, we did the sour cream. Next up will be the vanilla flavor. And that's 2 teaspoons of vanilla flavor. Let that blend in. It's already looking silky smooth. You don't want to over blend it, mix it. I mean, make sure always scrape your bowl. The reason you want your cream cheese room temperature so it don't be lumpy. Alright, now I have 3 tablespoons of flour that I'm going to add. Add the flour really, really slow. It's no rush. Okay, this is what I'm using for my flour. So as you can see, the flour is not going in a whole lot at a time. So flour kind of thickens it up a little bit. You can speed it up, but still adding your flour a little bit at a time. Just remember, do not over blend your cheesecake. If you over blend your cheesecake, then you get cracks. And it's okay to have cracks because you can cover it up with some type of fruit. Almost done with the flour. Once I get done with that flour, only thing next to be added would be the eggs. Here, you can close that up. But I'm going to go ahead and scrape the bowl down. So the rest of this flour can get in there. As I see, I still got flour around the bowl. And I need all the ingredients to get in there. Oh, don't worry about that bottle right there. It just sits there. But make sure you get all the way under there. Scraping the bowl, making sure you get all your ingredients. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So we don't want any lumps. I'm just going to speed it up a tinch. Scrape it one more time. See that? That's what you want. You want that smoothness. Very smooth. Look at that. It's still kind of thick. That's because we're missing one more ingredient, which would be the last ingredient. And them are the eggs. I already cracked the eggs, so they're going to go in one at a time while the mixer is blending. So I'm going to leave it there. All right, one egg at a time. Supposed to have a total of 7 eggs. This is a really, really big cheesecake. That's why I have those 2 over there for whatever I can't fit. Okay, here's the next egg. Once I get done blending these eggs, then we'll be able to put it in the crust. Okay, you want your batter look just like a batter of a cake. You can see how this flowing. I could make it a little thicker, but it's a-okay. It's gonna come out just fine. But yeah, this was my last stir. I'm gonna spin one more time, and then off in the pan it goes. But it should look like cake batter. If you ever made a homemade cake, not a box cake, you know how your batter would look. All right, last spin. Okay, this is the last spin, and then it's going into the graham cracker crust. All right, I done put my cheesecake into the graham cracker crust in the spring pan, and since I had extra, I went on and put it into this small pan here. Once the cheesecake is done, I'm going to top it with strawberries, but I'm going to have to cook down the strawberries, and it'll be within an hour. So I'm going to put it in the oven on 350 for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, turn the oven down to 300. Cook it for 40 minutes. The middle should be jiggling a little bit. So we'll be back in 40 minutes. No, matter of fact, I'll be back in an hour. All right, I'm a little tired, but I'm finishing up. I got about 18 minutes for the cheesecake to come out the oven. But right now I'm finna start on my strawberries. So I have 1 pound of strawberries. You can use 2 and take half of it and do what I'm about to do now, and then you can put the other half on top if you like a lot of strawberries, but I'm not doing that. I'm only doing 1 pound of strawberries. I got 1/4 cup of sugar. I have a teaspoon of cornstarch, and then I got 6 tablespoons of water. So I cut the strawberries in half. I peeled off the part that's not good. And there's the sugar, the the cornstarch, and then the water. So I'm going to start with medium heat, kind of medium high. And I'm going to put the strawberries in a pan while it's hot. Okay. Then add your sugar. Okay. And you're going to just constantly keep stirring it. Add your water. 6 tablespoons of water. And you're going to constantly keep stirring it. I'll be back shortly. Okay. The strawberries been cooking for a few minutes. Now you can see it's forming its own juice with the water that I added and the sugar that I added. Now I'm going to add the cornstarch, which will thicken it up a little bit. But you got to constantly keep stirring it. And it's going to make, the cornstarch is going to thicken up the strawberry juice. You want your strawberries soft. Okay? That's what we're trying to get to get the strawberries really soft. But it's a constant stir, as you want your cornstarch broken down into the strawberries. Almost like flour. Like you don't want to see it anymore, so you constantly stirring. You see how thick the sauce is getting? That's what you're looking for. I'll be cutting that apple pie really soon. That was my first video. This is my second one. Did you hear that? Now you want to turn your fire down like really low. As you can see, I'm still trying to break up the cornstarch. It'll eventually break up. The strawberries are getting soft. I want them. I'm going to take a few of them out, just a few, to put on top of the cheesecake. I only turned my fire down to do that.
Here? I just wanted somewhere quiet.
Just to take a few out to put on top of it. But you want them soft. They're still cooking. The fire is just really low. Okay. Back to stirring. And back to fire going up a little bit. Back to medium. Now, since they really soft now, I can take a potato smasher and smash the strawberries. You want to smash them. Get them soft. Smash them up. And still let it cook. Smash up all of them as good as you can. And that's going to be your strawberry puree that goes over the cheesecake. Okay, my last ingredients was for the strawberry puree would be 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavor. And then I'm going to let this cook on low heat for about 10 minutes. After I pureed it with the potato smasher, I'm going to show you what you get after you puree. This here. This is what I got that came from the puree. So this is not, I'm not going to put this on the cheesecake, but I'm going to let this simmer for about 5, maybe 10 more minutes, but constantly stirring it. It's really thick. Don't want to burn it, so you put it on low heat. And you stir. Just stir. Let that cook for about another 5, like I said, 5 or 7 minutes. I'm not going to say 10 minutes. I'm going to say 5 to 7 minutes on low heat, not high. Okay. That's strawberry puree. After smashing it with the potato smasher, this is what you get. It's very, very stringy. I don't want to pick it up with my hand because it's hot. So, as you can see how thick that is? You don't want that on your cheesecake. Then I also have the strawberries that I'm going to put on top of it, which they are soft. But I can't do anything until the cheesecake come out and it cools off. So this here is going to sit for a minute. Okay, I'm about to take the cheesecake out now. All right, cheesecake. I just took it out the oven. This is the real big one. And you may see it jiggle a little bit in the middle. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure because I'm trying to look at the same time. And here's the strawberry puree. And then the strawberries that's going to go on top. But I'm not going to put it on there until the cheesecake cool off. Okay? I don't see any cracks in it. I mean, it looks really, really good. Don't worry about the other one that's in the back. I'm more focused on this big one that I have. Alrighty. I need to let this cool for about an hour or so. And then I can put the puree on it. Once I put the puree on it, still have to chill. And then I'll be able to cut it. Okay. Till then, I'm finally done with this cheesecake. As you can see, the puree strawberries and the strawberries that's on top. And the small one, which the one that I had the extra cream cheese for. And the extra graham cracker crust. So what I did with this one was I just sprinkled, not even a sprinkle, I swirled some caramel on it, like a caramel syrup. Since caramel is like really, really sweet, I try not to put too much, but we'll see how it turn out. But it should be coming out the pan, the spring pan, which the first one, matter of fact, I'm going to try to do it while I'm holding the phone. So I went on and released the spring pan, and now I'm just going to remove it. Okay. See? And the small one turned out this way. As you can see, that's your graham cracker crust. This crust wasn't even, but it's still very eatable. But that is your graham cracker crust that I made. I did not use a frozen pie crust. I didn't use a frozen graham cracker crust. I used graham crackers and made the crust myself. This one here, I'm just going to give it a few before I take it out of the pan. I'm going to release the spring, and then I'll be taking it off then. Okay. Final. Here we go. Look at that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That looks good. I won't be cutting this one until tomorrow. We already ate cheesecake. I'm at the next day. My cheesecake went into the fridge overnight, and I decided, okay, it's time to cut it. The strawberry cheesecake that I didn't cut. My last video, you seen that it was all made up. I didn't cut it. It was dressed and all that. But anyway, so I'm going to show you. There it is. When I say it's delicious, it's delicious. So you got a thick graham cracker crust that's with pecans, toasted pecans, crumbled in it with the food processor. And that's how I made my crust. Now the crust is pretty thick at the bottom, not too thin, but it's thick around the sides, and then it's also, you have a nice layer of crust at the bottom. And when I say it turned out great, it turned out great. Well, here's the slice that I just cut. And I kind of just ate a little bit, you know, to look at the condensed of the cheesecake. You see how it cut? So all I need now is some ice cream. Now you can also see the crust at the bottom. That's not on the side because I cut it from the top. And say delicious. So good. That's what. I'm patting myself on the back. Thumbs up. I did a really great job. More recipes to come. Trust me. Baking is with love. And I love baking. Bye.